Hey guys, so this morning I went to St. Gabe's Church here in Neenah, Wisconsin. It was kind of nice because I just got back home, so I was able to go with my mom, and she was raised in the Catholic Church, so I think it was kind of interesting for her to be back. I think the first thing she noted was she was like, "This is a lot more progressive than how the church was that she grew up in." I think just because they had like a choir and a band singing and playing the hymns. It was a little less, perhaps more rigid or strict than she was used to. People were kind of milling around, kids were running around a little bit. So that was kind of cool to go with her. Some things that I thought were interesting were they had a bunch of exchange students. I'm not really sure the whole story there, but so we started off the service by singing Here I Am to Worship, and they took turns singing verses in different languages. So that was cool. I always really appreciate just praising Jesus in different ways, I guess, so especially in different languages. Um, and then the service was short, especially compared to sitting in a 3-hour Orthodox church service 2 weeks ago. Um, Other than that, it was interesting to see the comparisons between an Orthodox and a Catholic Church, between reciting the Creed and partaking in the Eucharist. I thought were all very similar ways that they worship. And then I think one thing that kind of stuck out to me it was it's like National Catholic School Church Week. So they had the speaker for the Fox Valley here in Wisconsin talk about a middle school that they just built this past year, and she's talking about how oh, sorry, my cat. She's talking about how they raised $10 million in a year to pay for this new school. And, well, I think that is obviously impressive and great. I guess it kind of sat uneasily with me when I thought about how you could be sending your kids to a different private school or a public school, and you could be raising $10 million to, I don't know, help the poor and needy, especially when, apparently that what I read this past week about mission for the Catholic Church in general and what Pope Francis was saying is that that's the heart of their mission, and evangelism is helping the poor. So I don't know, that kind of didn't sit well with me. I mean, obviously I know churches raise money and tithes go to church, and that's normal, but I think just the amount was really staggering to me. But other than that, it's a really big church. It had to be at least 300 people there. Really, people were wearing jeans and sweatshirts, so super laid back in that regard. I thought also it was cool. There were altar girls, so that was cool to see. I would like to know maybe if in that church they can become a priest or how that works, especially since in our cities we learned that usually it's just boys. So yeah, that was my experience. Thanks, guys.